just lying around.
Well, what the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
War's over, man. Wormer dropped the big one.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough...
Yes?
The tough get going.
That's right.
Who's with me? Let's go! Come on! Ah!
Come on, Kings fans. Who's with him? This is me last night. I was blue, though. All right.
What the happened to the I used to know? Where's the spirit? Where's the guts? Huh?
Huh?
This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst. Oh, we're afraid to go with you, Pluto. We might get in trouble. Well, just kiss my ass from now on! Not me! I'm not gonna take this!
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Sam Amick will join us. In fact, Sam's ready right now, so I'll sneak in a phone call or two before we get to Sam. Tim, you're on The Drive. Welcome in. Good morning.
I'm with you, Dave! I'm with you!
Thank you, Tim. I love you, baby. Hello, Pablo. Welcome in. Welcome into The Drive.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, sorry, with my last call, I had car trouble. That's what I didn't tell you about. But
Are you okay now?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm on my way to work. But, I called about Jaeger, because I think that, as far as players, it's easy. We judge them by points, rebounds, assists, probably block shots, and, of course, wins. But with coaches, some of the things that at least for me, coaches on player development, player substitution in games, game planning, and also play calling, particularly out of a timeout. And so and of course wins. But going by that, I think he's done a great job and overall, but on little things or such as play calling, player substitution, and I think he's kind of overrated in that regard because that's what his rep was. And a lot of these games, we say, hey, it's real good. We're there. But for me, there's nothing more beautiful than a great play executed in any sport, whether it's basketball or football, to win the game. There's nothing more horrible than a play that just goes south and is terrible. And I think a coach is largely responsible for that, because, you look at the March Madness or whatever, you see great execution and great plays, and the coach gets a glory. But then when it goes south like that, it's like, what's going on with the coach?
Well, listen, and I understand what you're saying. I got Sam on the line. That's why I got to cut this short. But, Pablo, I'll say this. You can be the greatest passer in the history of the game. But if the jump shots don't go in, you don't get the assist. Dave Yeager is known far and wide as one of the best outside timeout coaches in the entire league, one of the best X and O guys, one of the best play callers. We've seen it ourselves. We've seen it for both against us when he was with Memphis and for us. Dave Yeager may have faults. I don't think that's one of them, speaking of faults. It's the mark of a friend when you recognize that a friend of yours has faults, but you either ignore them, you move past them, or you pump the other person up. I've known Sam Amick for well over a decade now, and I consider him a real friend. But, Sam kind of crossed the line about a week ago. The Sloan Sports Conference takes place in Boston. Some of the best minds, if not all of the best minds in the sport together. And one at least, my favorite journalists, and Sam, were on stage doing a live podcast in front of, again, some of the most intelligent people in the game. Sam was on with Howard Beck, and he brought my name up at one point. And somebody sent this to me and went, oh, my ears perked up. Oh, Sam's going to say something nice about me. Well, listen for yourself.
A long time ago, this is a random story, but I wrote a thing about a Sacramento radio man. I think you know him, Carmichael Dave.
Yes.
And for years since then, it was in the context of a Ron Artest profile that I wrote. And Ron used to go on the radio with Dave and do radio things. And I described Dave as having a cushy poker player's build. And that is what Jokic has. I mean, he doesn't look like a pro athlete.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam, for dragging me in front of Howard Beck, who you might have heard laugh. Howard Beck, also a local guy, made big. And the entire audience. Now, when they think of Carmichael Dave, they think, oh, cushy poker player build. In other words, big fatty. Carmichael Dave's debut at the Sloan Sports Conference, big fatty. Welcome in. Fatty Dave. But you know what? We got to be pros. So we'll get through this somehow. And I will be the bigger man here, Kyle.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, I'm not harping on this whatsoever. Sam Amick joins us. Good morning, Sam, you fine-looking young man with a beautiful family and an excellent job and a great mind behind all of that. How are you?
I'm doing good. Kyle, well played. Dave, you should be the bigger man. You're used to it. I think, first of all, I had somebody tell me lately, you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't expect that. Go ahead. I wasn't laughing at you. It's not funny.
I had somebody ask me lately who didn't know me very well. They said, did you grow up Catholic? And I said, my mom was Catholic. And they said, oh, you got a little bit of a Catholic guilt thing going on. And so the Catholic guilt was washing over me as I listened to that. A couple things. For one, you said now, this is great. When they think of Carmichael Dave, rest assured, they just won't. They're not going to.
That's true. That will not be a topic of debate.
I think you're safe. And then lastly, you kind of highlighted the idea, and I agree that, we just kind of learn our friends' faults. I'm going to just own another one. I think I clearly have a complex of being passive-aggressively not nice to people in this type of way, because last night I went to the Kings game, and a thought crossed my mind as I ran into Bobby Jackson. I wrote a story recently in which I described a bunch of the old Kings, and all I wrote about Bobby was that he didn't get around like he used to. And then I got a text from you, of all people, saying that I had called Bobby hefty.
Yes.
Or, I'm putting it mildly.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to be self-aware. I think we have a trend happening here.
Yeah, you're basically fat-shaming me and Bobby Jackson. And I mean, not that you're wrong, okay, but again, there's a difference between being...
For the record, I did not call. I just said Bobby didn't move like he used to. That's all. It's not inaccurate.
Yeah, but that's like the thing where, and I do this as a bit, but if my wife and I are going out for the evening and it's a dress-up affair, and just as we're walking out the door, I say to my wife, hey, are you wearing that tonight? Like, yeah, it's a legit question, but there's meaning behind it, Sam.
No, there's not. With you, maybe. Not with Bobby. Bobby's good.
Sam Amick of The Athletic, which is an okay website. Go to theathletic.com. There's subscriptions galore. I think actually there's something like a $3 first month deal or whatever it is. I've been a long-time subscriber, and despite Sam will maintain my subscription, and we'll tell you more about that towards the end of this interview. Sam, I know it's not mathematically over. I've been going back and forth, having fun with fellow Kings fans who are jumping off the playoff bandwagon, but 18 games left. Kings are 4 behind the Spurs, 5 behind the Clippers with the tiebreaker. Is it effectively over, in your opinion, for the Kings?
What's the tiebreaker breakdown? I'm not aware of that.
Right now, the Kings own the tiebreaker with the Spurs, and I think that will hedge on their game in a couple of weeks. They do not own the tiebreaker with the Clippers. So they're 5 back of the Clippers effectively, 4 back of the Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not good. The Spurs, waking up and winning, I think, 4 in a row is just pretty devastating for the Kings. Playoff odds, and then last night is devastating. It's a tough loss, and man, I tell you what, just since none of us thought the Kings were going to be even worth talking about even on your show this time of year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just shout out to the fans who last night, yet again, that place was rocking. You know, I walked out of there with a bunch of Boston media, and in fact, might have had an adult beverage with some of those guys. That's why I sound so darn tired.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't get the Boston reporters. They get to Sacramento once a year, and some of them it was the first time they had been in that arena, and it was interesting to hear the feedback where people were like, "Man, that place was just unreal," which is saying something. Boston, people know how to do it when it comes to home games, but yeah, I think they're in trouble, for sure. I do anticipate that they'll keep pushing. It's definitely not over, but that tiebreaker, not having it against the Clippers, certainly hurts. And I don't know what to make of the Spurs, if they're going to keep going down this road or be the team that was scuffling before them.
Well, they play the Spurs. In fact, I was just looking. They will own the tiebreaker versus the Spurs. I should have known that. They play them once more in San Antonio, March 31st. They've played them twice at home, beaten them both times, and they only play the Spurs 3 times this year. So they will win that tiebreaker 2 out of 3. Yeah, it is a tough road. And obviously Marvin Bagley going down for a couple now different long stretches. It doesn't help matters. At the same time, who knows? And that's what I've been saying. The schedule opens up a little bit over the next couple weeks. But either way, Sam, I don't know if the Kings are the biggest surprise in the NBA, and I don't want to sound like I'm giving up here, but no matter what happens, I'm pretty sure Kings fans can hold their heads high that they're definitely, probably, at least in the top 5 biggest surprises of the year.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, I don't know if you heard that Brad Stevens before, or maybe after the game, I forget when, last night the Celtics coach went out of his way to give Yeager some praise and say that, I don't know if he said he should be coach of the year, but he's definitely in the discussion. And so, again, some of the locals who know Brad's habits made the point that that's just not something he typically does in terms of kind of stumping for another coach.
Sure.
So that got my attention. The Bagley injury definitely hurts. And, I heard the caller before I came on talking about late game stuff. And, I mean, it's true. They have had a handful of just late game situations that haven't gone their way, quite a few. And this one, I'd have to go watch the replay again, but it's like, Harrison just didn't break free, didn't get a good look. I mean, you're right about, shots fall or they don't, but, I don't think they got the look they wanted. So they're in a tough spot.
Fair to say with this team, and I don't really like doing post-mortem with 18 games left, fair to say with this team, I don't know that I necessarily want to compare them to Denver from last year, but this is just, when you're doing the post-mortem on the Kings, they're just not ready. They're just not there. They're just too young.
Yeah. Yes, that is a big part of it. You do see, I was telling somebody last night, I mean, that's just, you see young teams like this, like look at Denver, for example.
Yeah.
You're talking 2 years in a row where they missed the playoffs by a hair. And, last year, I believe it was an overtime game on the last, game of the year that was deciding things with Minnesota. So similar theme, similar strain. I think, it's going to, if it keeps going this direction, it's going to hurt that group even more than normal, maybe, because it was really cool to see like how the young guys actually cared about the history and that idea of breaking the streak of no playoffs going back to 2006. And I mean, that's the one where, okay, super fun year, but that that is again, if this is where it ends up, that's unfortunate because that's just a monstrous like elephant in the room type streak. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be the league's longest anything of a negative type, and that would still be there. But yeah, this is definitely normal stuff when it comes to figuring those situations out.
Sam Amick of The Athletic with us. Sam, we spent a lot of time yesterday on the Lakers and LeBron James, talking about how much I've noticed Luke Walton is a horrible coach and LeBron James is washed up. I feel like Magic Johnson's escaping a lot of the scrutiny here. Not totally, but probably third on that list. Do you think that's right? You've done a tremendous job over the last year plus with Jeannie Buss and your access, doing deep dives on the Lakers. I feel like Magic deserves more blame than he's getting. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, you must be right because I keep getting that question. I feel like, and when I've written about the Lakers situation, that I've highlighted the fact that Magic and Rob both. I mean, to me, in my criticism, it's been number one. It's been Magic and Rob together.
Right.
And it's just that idea that they, I don't know what in the world they were thinking in terms of not prioritizing shooting.
Yep.
That's the incredible thing. It's, and honestly, like even internally, well, I don't know, this is kind of harmless enough to share, like, as you would assume, like, sure, like, all, in these interviews I've done with Jeannie, you end up talking offline a little bit. And it's like you can tell that the shooting is an internal concern all season long. And I'm looking at it like, okay, but it's not complicated to figure out, how this went down. It's like LeBron's entire career, you surround him with shooters, and that's the formula.
Yep.
And they went out. I mean, I saw a number yesterday, not to digress, but Tom Haberstroh of NBC has a segment that he calls the big number. And he pulled up the fact that LeBron and Rondo have a minus 55 together this season on the floor.
Jeez.
Every other player on the Lakers is in the plus when he's on the floor with LeBron. And, that's the reality is you cannot score with Rondo and LeBron on the floor together because Rondo's not a shooter. LeBron's, gotten better over his career, but you get the point. Like the roster construction just lent itself to this year they're having. And I agree. I think Magic deserves a lot of that blame.
Well, that's where it really floors me. We talked about it before the year started, and I said it was almost like Magic was pledging a fraternity or being on a dare or something, he and Rob, because you signed Rondo. You already have the LeVar-Lonzo Ball dynamic, and you bring in Rondo, JaVale, Lance Stevenson, Michael Beasley. How is it not going to happen this way? To me, that is just flat out malpractice on the part of building a roster, or did they just somehow think maybe in the back of their heads, they don't want to say it publicly, that this year was a complete and total wash? I can't buy that.
It wasn't a wash. I mean, they definitely wanted to compete in the playoffs. It wasn't a wash on that front at all. And, to a degree, they can make the argument that they wanted to preserve their cap space for this summer, but there were other guys you could give one-year contracts to.
Right.
And the biggest one that doesn't make sense is Brook Lopez. You gave your money to Contavious Caldwell-Pope, which ironically he could shoot a little bit.
Yep.
But Brook Lopez not only shoots, but he's a hell of a defensive presence, doing some pretty good things for the Bucks this year. That's a major loss. Julius Randle's a good player. Again, not a shooter, but I wonder in the weeks ahead, fine, let's say Luke gets fired. This is the responsible reporter in me does feel like throwing in there, like, never say never. We thought Eric Spoelstra was going to get fired in Miami.
Sure.
In my intel that I haven't even shared publicly because it just seems like it's so against the narrative is like definitely being told by somebody who would definitely know that it's not a foregone conclusion on Luke.
Okay.
But I hate to say it, I just don't know if I believe that. There's a lot of people in that room, but we'll see. But I also wonder about Rob. Like, if anybody was going to be in trouble here, I could see a scenario where, like, Magic's not going to lose his job. Like, come on.
Right. It's Magic.
Yeah, it's Magic. So, yeah, scrutiny, fine. I wonder if, there's maybe a little more heat on Rob.
Sam Amick joining us from The Athletic as we wrap up. Going into Northern California. We'll stay all in California here. Is DeMarcus Cousins as much of a pull on their defense as is being made out? Draymond Green jumped to his defense, said he wasn't the reason. But you see Andrew Bogut signing. Was that a signal from the front office, from Steve Kerr, that they've only got a few more games in the Cousins experiment and things might change come playoff time? How did you read that?
No, I don't think it's that extreme by any means. First of all, like, I think when it comes to locker room dynamics, it feels like that was, them and partly Steve Kerr kind of clutching on to something familiar. Bogut was part of their group during a very special time. I heard Tim Kawakami, my colleague at The Athletic, who covers the Warriors and does such a good job, talking about how, Bogut and Draymond Green back in the day, they had such a special chemistry defensively on the floor. And so I think it's a kind of a reflection of the overall defensive concerns. I think they're 16th in defensive rating, which is not kind of, championship level. I'm curious to see. We'll have to wait and see how the rotations look. I don't know. I mean, Cousins is still clearly the priority in terms of rotations, and maybe Bogut ends up being a deep bench guy. I just also know Andrew well enough. The combination of how much money he's getting and the fact that he decided to cross the pond and kind of interrupt his life again to come back to the NBA like this, I'm just assuming he wouldn't do that if he wasn't going to have a somewhat impactful role.
Right.
But, I'm curious to see how that pans out.
That's Sam Amick of The Athletic. Just go to theathletic.com. It's the best sports coverage there is. Support great journalism, and they've got phenomenal deals for you. A month subscription is going to cost you less than a drink at the bar. It's going to make you a lot smarter when you're done. Sam, what do you have or what do you have coming up on The Athletic?
Today, I haven't written in a few days, so I get excited when I actually publish stories these days. I write less frequently.
Must be nice.
I finally wrote that. Well, I mean, but we do, we go a little, I said doo-doo.
Oh, you
did that, Dave?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, that's my kids in my head.
Yes, it is.
I wrote about the Bucks, and they were in town last week, and did a longer read on the fact that, A, are they really legit, and could they win the whole darn thing? And then, B, in the context, this is a longer chat, I'll let you run, but, with Adam Silver highlighting how players are so unhappy, and with so many teams like the Warriors and Celtics and Lakers seemingly not always enjoying each other's company, the Bucks are like a big love affair fraternity. So I think that's going to help them in the next few months.
You see that mature adults getting through tumultuous times despite the fact that conversations and insults flew behind the back. That's Sam Amick and myself, a lovely couple indeed that will endure our friendship for many, many more years to come. Sam, you're the best. I'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Take care. That is Sam. Calling me a cushy poker player build guy again. That's fine. Lance Woods is going to come in the studio here in a couple minutes, and we're going to have some fun with him. Final half hour. We'll talk about last night's game. We'll take your phone calls, and we'll get to you the Peckus Brothers moment of the game from yesterday. It's The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.
The least professional show in the entire station, and they'd like to apologize for absolutely nothing.
Yep.
The Drive continues now.
Brown gets his step on Brewer, runs into Giles, smothered by Harry, ball knocked away, trapped by Bielitsa, feeds it out to Fox, weaves right, left, spins right, to the rim, scores the basket. There's your Peckus Brothers moment of the game. A lot of fans popped out of their seats on that drive up the floor by Fox. Weaving left, right, left, and then one final time to the right with a little pirouette, and they score at the rim.
That is your Peckus Brothers moment of the game for the best backyard and patio deals. Really get yourself a brand new backyard. There is nobody better, nobody with a better price than what, Kyle?
I know you got to finish this read up real quick, but you and I, we have Lance Woods in the studio here, but
yep.
You and I were talking about what were those comedians that you told me I needed to
Oh, that you needed
watch.
to check out?
Yeah.
Oh, they're right behind my back here. Look over in the glass. Kyle, it's the Peckus Brothers. Come on now. Peckus Brothers. Hello, Lance Woods.
What's going on?
Lance Woods is like, real great bit, guys. It's super funny.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Wait 1 second. I did the intro wrong.
Hear ye. It is David of Carmichael coming in live. Sports 1140 on the Drive. with me, Son Lance Woods.
What's up, buddy?
I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah.
Last night was tough.
It was.
I'll be honest with you, Dave. Last night. But it's like encouraging tough because you watching them and you say, yo, they figuring this all out. And it's like these close losses, they hurt now, but down the line, this is going to be good experience.
I agree. Like, it's all that growing pains. And you know, you want to say moral victories, et cetera, et cetera. And I know fans are caught up in the moment. I'm caught up in the moment and tired of hearing that, but it's so true. You're losing the best teams in the game by like a point.
A point. It's a play here, a play there. I was like, even like when Buddy got fouled, the fact that he made all 3 free throws without flinching, none of them hit the rim. It didn't net. It was like they're not nervous. They're not scared of the moment. It's just, you know, sometimes some of the late game execution isn't always there, and they'll get the defensive stop sometimes and not get the rebound.
Right.
Or like last night, like Hayward just made a good shot. He got to a spot and made a shot, and that's a shot Hayward missed all season.
Yep. Of course they got healthy right before. Oh, of course they got it together against the Warriors right before they came in. Like if we play like we did last night against the Boston Celtics, 90% of this year we beat them.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, even Kyrie Irving out. The numbers show I think they're 10-2 without Kyrie Irving.
Without him now, and Come on. And you know what was the most frustrating part was I had my video all ready to go. Like I had everything I was gonna say down to go, and then Hayward made that shot. I had to change the video.
I saw that, man. And normally we play your videos. We can't because it's pretty much you got to check it out at Sir Lance Woods on Twitter at Sir Lance Woods or Lance Woods on Instagram. It's kind of a visual because you have the music in the background. You were surrounded by Celtics fans just
way too many of them there last night. It was way too many Celtics fans last night. I felt like I was in Boston.
I want to know
certain points.
I want to know how many of those people actually went to Boston.
It was. I felt like I was in Boston. There was deflated balls all over the place. It was.
How you like them apples everywhere? Yeah, right.
Come on, forget about it. Is that Boston?
I think that's New York, but okay.
Same thing.
Everyone wanted to go to the Yad House afterwards.
Yeah, the Yad House. Over there.
It was at the Yad House and Benny. Never mind.
No, I think that's New York again.
Is that back to New York? As soon as I leave here, I'm going to watch.
Good Will Hunting?
No. But The Departed.
The Departed.
The Departed was in Boston, right?
I think it was, yeah. That was a hell of a movie, too.
You know what would have been crazy if I said, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to watch The Bronx, too.
Now, that was a great movie. I love that movie.
You know, my family calls me Sonny.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So my mom, my sister, my niece, they call me Sonny.
Is that from Sonny Corleone or Sonny from the Bronx Tale? Or just Sonny from neither one? That's just their nickname.
They just call me Sonny. But then people were saying I look like James Caan.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's from nose to chin.
I think so. I can see it.
Yeah. Both of us got crooked mouths. That's all that.
I just want to clean something up. Somebody from the 916 on the text line saying they're actually better with Kyrie. No, I listen. Of course, Kyrie Irving is a great player, and we're just saying they're literally 10-2 when Kyrie Irving hasn't played this year.
Yeah.
So it's not a godsend when he's not playing based on the numbers. That's a pretty decent size. It's not like they're 2-0. They're 10-2.
When Kyrie's not there, they are the ball moves different when he's not there.
Right.
And defensively, they switch everything, man. Like there was a point in that game yesterday where the Kings couldn't do anything.
No, they stepped that defensive intensity up.
Anything. It was like a 7-minute stretch. I was like, this is some tough defense because they can switch at every position. And, you know, with Rozier and Marcus Smart, and then you got
Al Horford, the middle, Jaylen
Brown. Like, there was a move. Bogey went to the middle, and Marcus Smart just, like, kind of took the ball from him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like, but he does that to everybody. Like,
Marcus Smart's the heart and soul of that defense, too.
Yes.
That dude.
Al Horford. Him and Horford
is –
Horford might be the most underrated player in basketball.
Kings defensive rating and intensity has gotten a lot better since Harrison Barnes came in. It was a tale of two halves. They actually 26 and 23 they gave up in the first two quarters, and that 26 points in the first, that was 23 points. And who was it? Was it Rozier? It was
hit the three.
Hit the three at the very end. And a couple things like that in a 2-point game. You have that three at the end of the first quarter. You have the Buddy Hield three at the end of the third, I think.
It wasn't three. It was a
two. I'm sorry. You're correct. That was disallowed. And both right calls, by the way.
Yeah.
But they're just that close.
They're right there.
It's very frustrating.
They'd be right there, man. But like I'd just be excited watching it because it's like, yo, they're figuring it all out, and they're turning the corner, and then looking at the playoffs, and it is 3.5 games now.
They're 4 back of the Spurs, 4 back of the Clippers, but the Clippers have the tiebreaker, so really they're effectively 5 back of the Clippers.
So the fat lady, it ain't over till the fat lady sings,
right?
And she drinking lemon water right now. She ain't singing, but she getting her voice warmed up.
I mean, my thing today has been not to be Mr. Blind Purple Glasses optimist, but do I think it's likely they'll make the playoffs? No. I don't think it's impossible. I mean, I don't think it's I'm still there. They're so close.
Yeah. I mean, it's because 4 games is not insurmountable. That's with 18 left.
4 games with 18 left, and by the way, one of those games is in San Antonio versus the Spurs, and not for nothing, but the Kings are 2-0 versus the Spurs this year, and they will own the tiebreaker. In addition to that game, the Spurs play Milwaukee on Sunday. They've still got Portland, Golden State, Houston, Boston, Denver in Denver. They've still got some pretty tough games, the Spurs do.
Yeah, I wish I could make the rest of the Kings schedule.
Just all Cleveland?
Yeah, all Cleveland. All Cleveland and Atlanta.
Cleveland, man, I don't know. Atlanta's scary lately. That Trae Young
has been balling.
I go like
Phoenix.
Yeah, Cleveland, Phoenix, and maybe the Knicks.
Then I didn't want to say Phoenix out loud because I think about the game we blew to Phoenix.
That we blew to Phoenix.
I think about all of those little games that we blew because like some of the stuff, man, you lose a close game to Boston, it happens. Those games to the one we blew to Phoenix, the one to what was the other game?
Well, we've had 2 in Minnesota. We've lost.
2 in Minnesota.
They had not against bad teams, but they had a game against the Warriors and a game against the Blazers that they absolutely should have won.
The game against the Warriors and Blazers, obviously in Denver, was.
Oh, yeah, that's the game. I was thinking about the Portland game.
Lakers coming back.
And oh my goodness! The Laker game and the Portland game.
I mean, to be fair, that home game against Miami, they completely stole that game. The game in Detroit, the Buddy Hield shot, that was a last-second thing. We'll talk about more of this with what's on tap coming up in just a few minutes. Before we break, though, right now it's time. Coors Light brings you their cold, hard facts.
It's time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact of the Day. Here's Kyle Madsen.
Hey, Kyle.
LeBron James, this is from ESPN Stats and Info. LeBron James entered last night needing 13 points to pass Michael Jordan for 4th most in NBA history. He went 0 for 4 on free throw attempts in the first quarter, tied for his most free throw attempts without a make in a single quarter in his career.
Oh, wow.
He also went 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter against the Wizards on February 24, 2006.
But he got it.
That is a fact about LeBron James from last night.
He got it, though, man.
He did.
Right?
Good for him.
Good for LeBron. Hey, by the way, Kyle, a little known fact. I don't know if you knew this or not. The top 4 scorers in NBA history, all Lakers.
Yep.
I've seen that, and it's disgusting.
It's gross.
It's
not drafted once. None of them were drafted by the Lakers.
Kobe Bryant is unequivocally a Laker.
Even though he was drafted by
Kareem
Charlotte.
is remembered as a Laker.
I agree with you. But come on.
You're going to claim LeBron James and Karl Malone? Get out of here.
Get out of here.
And then the top 4, and then 6 were Wilt.
That's right. Who's a 76er, damn it. And Kareem is a Minneapolis. He's a buck.
He's a
buck.
And Karl Malone is a cowboy.
Thank you very much. That's 100%.
Karl Malone's something.
And Karl Malone is a horrible human being.
Yeah.
What's on tap is next. Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's the end of the show, but it's the start of your workday. For a cold one, it's What's on Tap. Here's What's on Tap.
What's on tap? Brought to you by
the little air freshener trees for your car.
Little air freshener trees. Outdated, maybe.
They work fantastic, let me tell you.
I prefer the vent clip air freshener.
Sure.
They also have little like wax squares you can put under your seat now. But either way, why drive around in a car that smells like a dead animal? Get yourself an air freshener tree today.
You know, since they legalized marijuana, people use different trees to freshen
It's
their
a
car
great
up.
point right there.
Yeah.
But then they roll around, it smells like a skunk.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah. Or, hey.
Whatever.
What's on tap?
Whatever, people.
Pacers, Bucks, Thunder, Trailblazers. Who cares, right? There's a couple of basketball games on tonight. Yeehaw. Some things we missed or did not get right to. LeBron James passes Michael Jordan in all-time scoring. Yeah, he played more games. Yes, he played more minutes, but he did pass Michael Jordan yesterday. He was very, very deferential to Michael last night.
Wanted to be like MJ. Wanted to shoot fadeaways like MJ. Wanted to stick my tongue out on dunks like MJ. Wanted to wear my sneakers like MJ. I wanted kids to look up to me at some point like MJ, and it's crazy, to be honest. It's beyond crazy.
Then why haven't he shaved his head yet? Because God has been trying to take it off for years now, and he just won't let it go.
We had another one bite the dust last week. Old friend
Andre Iguodala.
I didn't notice Iguodala. Okay, because DeMarcus Cousins finally went bald.
Oh, yeah. Well, DeMarcus didn't go. The Lord has intervened and said, it is time to come home, my son.
DeMarcus been fighting that for years.
And, he fought a good fight.
He did. That's why he brought in the headband.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever said that in a game, but that's why he started wearing the headband, was because that hairline was running from his eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's rough out here. I don't know if you know how what the hairline means in the black community, Dave.
Of course I do.
It's a big deal.
It is.
You know what I know? White dudes don't really care about their hairline.
No, that's
not a fact.
I have had these wings since I was in 6th grade, and people say I'm going bald. I've had them. Look behind you. Look at these two cue balls.
See what I'm saying? No, I'm not talking about hair. I'm talking about the hairline.
That's why I'm bald, man. My hairline was not okay.
Yeah. Now, and I'm telling you, as a white dude, you can get away with it. It's just hair.
I got you.
Like, I'm talking about just the line.
Right.
Like I be watching white dudes, I say, man, like, and y'all like go comb it different ways.
Comb over.
Yeah. See, ain't no comb overs in the
That's true, huh?
It's once that line is not there no more.
Okay, but is the is the African American equivalent of a comb over? See, I gotta be careful. Is the equivalent though? Like, what if you grew it out and then just kind of picked it over a little bit to cover up?
What do you think I'm doing over here?
Oh, really? You look like you have a nice full head of hair.
I do, but you might start to get shy around these parts right here. You grow it out a little bit, and then you just keep it moving.
Okay.
The more it grows, now that line isn't as important.
Gotcha. See, I always was jealous. If I'm be perfectly honest, rather than lying to you, which I always do. If I'm being honest here, I was always jealous of the hair. I've told you before. We've talked about it. My mom's sister, my cousins are black.
My cousins are black too.
Are they? That's good.
Mine are not.
And I'm not trying to do the whole I have a black cousin thing. Let me finish here.
Really?
My cousin Tantra and my cousin Sushila both have long braids.
Did you just make that name up?
No,
Sushila?
I swear. No.
Okay.
I have 3 black cousins. Tantra, who is she's a
Contra was a game on Nintendo.
Tantra.
Oh, Tantra.
Tantra.
Okay.
Her name's Tantra. Their last name's Love. They're great names. Tantra Love. She's a teacher in Oakland.
Of course.
And my cousin Sushila. They both, and then my other cousin's Nat, the one boy. His name's Nat, not Nathaniel, not N-A-T, just Nat,
Named
right?
after Nat Turner.
Nat, and he plays saxophone. He went to Berkeley School and look at me, I'm bragging here. Went to Berkeley School of Music, plays saxophone for the English beat. He's a good dude. Anyways, they grew their hair. They have their hair down to like the middle of their back, and they're not braids. It's like they're
dreadlock.
Yeah, it's like a comedy of the two. And as a little kid, I used to call them worms. That's how because it looked like they were the worm shape.
Just don't do it as a grown up.
That's exactly right. So I was so jealous. I still kind of am so jealous whenever we'd be at Thanksgiving or hanging out or whatever. I would just find myself. You can't help it. I can't have awesome hair like that. Their hair is so awesome.
Just don't cut it and see what happens.
I don't think.
Yo, I was going.
It would look so gross.
I might make a video about. Did y'all see Dave Yeager's hair last night?
No.
Yeah, he had the fresh cut last night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that wasn't supercuts. That wasn't great clips. He went to a black barbershop where they was going through conspiracy theorists and selling bootleg DVDs next to him. He went to a shop where they was listening to trap music the whole time. He went and got some aerodynamic.
Really?
Yeah,
I got to check this out again.
Those weren't scissors.
I've never had a barbershop experience like that.
Really?
I thought it was just movies.
Yeah.
And then I went to this.
Where'd you go, Kyle?
I went to this place in Elk Grove. I can't even remember what it was called, but I walked in there.
What did it smell like?
Well, first of all, I called the guy and I was like, "Hey, do you take how does this work? Like, do you take?" Well, no, because I just
is this a colors only shop? Is that what you asked?
No, I was just like, "Do I just walk in and you take appointments?" He's like, "Yeah, I take appointments. Just come on in this time." I was like, "Great." It's one bench. It's just one long bench in this entire place on one of the walls, and all the chairs are in a row.
Okay.
And there are 12 people in the shop and 67 different conversations going on.
That's awesome.
You was there. I know what shop you was at.
It was, dude, it was unbelievable. I literally thought that was a movie thing because my only haircut experience was Supercuts.
Right. Same here. Like those, exactly. That's
I've never been to Supercuts, and but my cuts have been super.
I mean, whether it's a Supercuts, Great Clips, Great Clips? No. What's the Sport Clips, which I love very much.
Yes,
fine
awesome.
sponsor
Hot
on the
steam
station.
towel. Love a hot steam towel on my face.
But my experience there, Lance, entirely has been in Coming to America.
Yeah.
That's what is that really a thing where everybody's having arguments about Joe Louis and how he was 137 years old?
Yes. I was at the barbershop yesterday.
I want that.
I was at the barbershop yesterday, and we was having a big conversation about R. Kelly.
Really?
In the barbershop.
Okay.
We're not gonna go on with the conversation here, but and it was 7 barbers. Nah, but this is what it is though. But what about the parents? We're not gonna talk about the parents.
Wow.
It's over there. What? You ain't never had to pee? It's like all of that going on. it was all over. Maybe he just had a weak bladder. It was like all from across the room, and these is loud conversations all going on while there's 2 Chainz music playing. So we got to talk over the music,
right?
And everybody got to be heard.
I want that.
The whole time because you sit there. And I have half my head shaved because it was just like a straight razor shave. I have half my head shaved, and my barber stops and walks over to somebody.
Yes.
I sat there for 10 minutes while he hashed out his differences with this other guy on the other side of the shop.
Yo, I'm in the shop the other day. I'm getting a cut.
Just hanging out.
Look, it's another barber. They talking about some girl, and he's like, no, hey, you gotta see this. So he cuts the clippers off to go show him a video. Yes. And I'm like, I got stuff to do, man. Yo, send him this video later, bro.
I want that experience. I want at every barbershop. At every it's not. I don't go to a barbershop. I go to a haircut place. And every single one, like all of the conversations of quarantine. Like I'm only allowed to talk to my haircutter and vice versa.
Your stylist.
If you try to talk. If Amy's cutting your hair at Supercuts, and you try
it's actually Trisha, but thank you.
But see, if you try and talk to Trisha, the whole place shuts down.
The whole place shuts down. There's no intra-conversation.
Yo, it's just like black people go to barbershops. You go to haircut places.
Haircut, stylist, exactly.
Y'all go to banks.
Right.
We go to check cashing places.
I like that this segment has turned into like. I like that this segment has turned into Kyle and Dave be a little problematic with Lance.
Y'all go to daycare,
right? Yeah,
we go to our grandma's house. It's just a difference, people. It's not better, no worse. We just go to different places. The results all end up the same.
How much time do we have left?
We're out of here.
Oh, we are? Okay, let me start the music.
They send y'all to private school, and they keep sending us to private prisons. All right, that might have been too far.
I hope you enjoyed another episode of Uncomfortable Whitey's with Lance Woods.
That might have been too far. Sometimes I go too far. Every now and
you
again.
can't go too far.
There's always a line, and then I just run all the way past the line.
Lance, we're out of time, but real quick.
Hey,
this
people,
Sunday,
I'm at Punchline this Sunday.
Okay.
7 o'clock, doors open at 6. I need y'all to come out and support. We're going to have a good time. Dave is going to give out some tickets tomorrow.
Yes.
However you going to do that, he's going to give out, what we going to do, 4 tickets?
Yes, sure, whatever you give me.
We're giving out 4 tickets tomorrow, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Keep supporting this show. Nothing but love for Kyle and Dave. Social media, Twitter, Sir Lance Woods. Instagram, Lance Woods. Facebook, Lance Woods. Snapchat, Sexual Charcoal. Christian Mingle. Never mind.
J-Date.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, I got off all them sites.
Okay.
Tinder, swipe right if you know what's right.
That's Lance Woods. Thanks to Kyle and Jay in the back. Jim Rome is next.
Jay, what's up, baby?
See you tomorrow for a Friday edition right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. That's the average white man playing right now. Bye-bye.